Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today with two very, very successful individuals. They come from different backgrounds, but they have one thing in common, which is they're successful. We have Robbie Fowler, who is a legendary footballer from Liverpool and England, and we have Marco Robinson, who is one of the leading property investors in the world. Maybe Robbie, if I can just start with you. Mm-hmm. You started as a footballer from a very young age. You came from a humble background. How did you get into football?
Well, I think you just said there. Obviously, growing up, was very humble, and probably most people in Liverpool, where I'm from, played football. That was the only thing we ever done. It's not like the modern day age now, where a lot of the kids have handheld computers, DJ equipment now. Everyone's got them, but I was just forever carrying the football. Obviously, I had a little bit of talent, but I went away and worked on it. It was not a thing where I just fell upon becoming a footballer. I actually worked from a very, very young age to try and be a success at football.
Right. So you had talent, but of course you had to work at it, right? Everybody thinks that football is an easy game and it's ezy money.
Well, yeah. A lot of people say that. The people who say are the ones who don't play. I think if you're being honest, it's a sport that everyone would love to be paid to do. I was no different, and effectively I was getting paid for doing a hobby, for doing my hobby. I had a great career. I wouldn't swap anything. Football is obviously the only thing I've ever done, but obviously when you finish, you have to have the other aspects of your life and other ideas about what you want to do after football, because it's not that long of a career.
Right. Did you have a mentor who guided you through your post-football career in that essence?
Well, in terms of football and growing up, it's always good for the individual to want to do it first and foremost, and I did. But you need a little bit of guidance anyway. And my mum and dad were brilliant. Obviously, she said I come from a humble background. My mum and dad, we didn't have much money, so we used to get the bus to train all the time. My mum would give me the money, and that is probably the guidance that you needed, because my mum might have said, "Oh, my dad, we can't afford it this time, so you might have to give it a miss." But they went and worked a little bit harder, to try and give me the best possible start in my football career.
Right. Marco, you obviously are not a footballer, but you're a very successful businessman and entrepreneur yourself. How did you get started in your career?
I guess I got started because I had a career that was very stressful. And actually, I didn't go to school. I left school at 16. Didn't go to university or anything like that. I had no money. Didn't have any career prospects. Came from a very small town, a place called Buxton, Derbyshire, not far away from you. And I didn't really have any motivation when I was younger. I didn't have a mentor. Didn't have anyone around me that pushed me, if you like, or would support me what I wanted to do. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I started actually quite late.
Right.
Now I had my first proper job at 21, and that was selling timeshare, commission only, and I failed miserably. But then someone helped me. They gave me a book, saw some potential in me, saw some talent, and that turned me around. And within a week, I became the best salesperson in the company. Then ended up nearly running the company. And then I was about 26, 27 then. And then that company got taken over by an American group, and then we all got fired.
Right.
And then I got offered these opportunities around the world, and one of them was Malaysia in Asia. And went over there, did extremely well, but I was working 18 hours a day, nearly 7 days a week. My marriage was suffering. I was making a lot of money, but it wasn't the answer, So when I was 29, I had a mild heart attack. My wife...
At 29?
At 29. My wife was having an affair with my best friend.
Oh.
That didn't cause the heart attack, I don't think. and then I lost all my money on the stock market. So there was triggers there, and that was a lot of pain for me. And one thing I decided then was I never wanted to have a boss again controlling my life, what I wanted to do. So I just gave that up. Even though I didn't have a lot of money left, I just left and decided I want my own business. So I started consulting in my old industry. And then I decided, well, you know what, that's not really giving me much fulfillment. What can I do? So to cut a long story short, I started my own business, created a product from nothing, and had literally run out of money. was driving around in a 15-year-old Volvo from a cafe, designed this product, and I made $12 million in 1 year doing that. And that inspired me to go on to the next thing. Now, at that time, I wasn't really into property. In fact, the first property I bought, I lost money on. So for me, I didn't really know anything about that. And I suddenly got interested in that because I found out and discovered that as I was getting mentoring, because when I started that business, I was getting mentored by millionaires, one in particular that was really successful. And he taught me that property was one of the best investments you could make because it gave you passive income. So if you get positive cash flow, you didn't really have to work ever again. And that was a fantastic thought that I didn't really believe that was possible at the time. So, you know, after researching it, I found out that that was possible, and there were certain opportunities around the world that I could get into, not a lot of money down. And then I started to become successful at doing that, and I bought my first, second, third, fifth, got to 10 properties, and then I decided it was so much fun, I wanted to teach other people how to do it. So I started doing seminars about that for free. I didn't charge people because it was a hobby, like football was a hobby for you. So I started doing this hobby, and then more and more people started to come to the seminars. So then, okay, what else can I teach them? So I started extending it to 8 hours instead of just 2 hours. And I still did it for free. Then, well, hang on a minute, how can I make this into a business? So then I started finding a way, putting a program together to educate people how to basically replace the salary with passive income so they could fire the boss and become financially free so they didn't have to worry about money ever again.
Right.
Now, I've been doing that for 5 years. And it literally has gone epidemic proportions because obviously a lot of people around the world are doing a job they don't love. In fact, I've asked my own people around the world, I've done so many seminars. When I ask an audience, do you love what you do? One person puts their hand up, kind of maybe. But when they realise, well, you know, we could get paid the same money for not doing that, and not going to the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, not working weekends, they kind of like that idea. So I found that most people are doing a job they don't like because they have to pay the bills.
Yes.
So when I discovered that, I found out, well, hang on a minute, you know, I can help those people change their lives.
Right.
And when you get to our level now, I think the best thing that we can do is give back. Like, you meet children all the time who want to be like you. You meet people around the world who idolize you, but no, when you give back to them, you come and you teach them, you educate them, you help them out, give them opportunities. That's, for me, the best, the most powerful thing you can ever do, and it actually gives you the most fulfillment. It's not about the money anymore, because I don't need that kind of money anymore because I've already made it financially. So now for me, giving back to people and educating people how you can get into property as a means of doing what you love to do and helping other people do what they love to do, because if you can touch one person, they can actually help the family, the next family, the friends, and all the rest of it, and that's actually happened to me. And that's an amazing thing.
Right.